What it do, fellas? So this video is all about make her ask you questions. So a lot of times, all of you guys, or a lot of you guys, excuse me, but a lot of you guys are just giving it all out. So sometimes a female won't even ask you, won't care what you're doing. She won't even really think you're making much. So she won't even ask or try to get to know you. Some of y'all are ready to be like, well, I work at this job and I work about 45 hours plus. I'm a hardworking man and I could treat you like a queen. Okay, let me give you a better accent because that one wasn't the best. Make sure you give this video a big thumbs up. But it's early in the video and I'm already popping these accents. Let me give you one more though. A lot of times also, y'all are trying to convince her, or let's say this, first impression, I got to make sure that when she leaves, she remembers me, she thinks about this. So y'all are over here trying to talk good about yourself. And in other words, trying to gas yourselves up. And instead, it's just making you look either too cocky or like a whole guy that doesn't have confidence and instead became conceited, right? So don't become none of those guys. Don't give answers, and I'm going to break it down in this video. But like I told you, give this video a big thumbs up. It definitely helps the algorithm. And fellas, go ahead, book your consultation by clicking that link in the bio after the video though. Make sure you watch until the end. And fellas, there's a great deal right now, and consultations start from 15 minutes all the way until an hour. So how long do y'all want to talk? It's up to y'all. Make sure you check out the website, okay? So let's get to the talking. First thing I want to tell you guys is don't give nothing out unless you have to. Already from your actions, I tell you, you got to move low-key. And then when you show out or you're supposed to have a woman notice you, it's based on the way you carry yourself. It's based on your aura, the way you're dressed, all that stuff, right? And we leave it just on that. What, y'all? Back to what I was starting with saying in the beginning. And I'm sorry I didn't give you guys another accent. It'll come soon, okay? I forgot to. But what I was saying is that, okay, a lot of you guys are already trying to basically, oh, well, let me save myself like I normally say, right? So what you're doing is putting an image or trying to put this image in your head. But what you got to get is that, why are you doing that when she would rather not know much about you? This is the thing. Every time, and this is how it normally goes, every time she's around her girls and she has to talk about her relationship, or who she's talking to, all this stuff, this is normally how it goes, right? She has to now mention you and say, well, yeah, he's always at work and he says he just works and, he wants a girl that's ready to like settle down. This is boring. This is, yes, we get that you work hard, but also she does not care. Work and keep it in silence, yes, but don't tell her. So as in when you work and then you pick up more hours, right? And you don't tell her, this is where you guys got to know how much you can tell her. You could just tell her the name of the place you work or what you do. You get me? And this is what females will do when they tell you, well, I model, or tell you half of what they do. And some of the stuff is not even really making them that money. That's saying that is making her lifestyle really her lifestyle. So back to my point. Some of y'all would rather tell her, well, I never pick up extra hours. Some of y'all would rather tell her, well, on my free days is this and that. So what happens instead, the times when you tell her, and once again, I'm going to go back to how she's going to talk to her girls about you. But once again, when you tell her way too much, instead of making her ask about you, want to know more, literally build up the mysteriousness, y'all will tell her. And so the times where you have a longer week, the times where she could be wondering and the mysteriousness is going, she knows that you picked up hours. So then some of y'all will be like, well, I started just picking up hours out of the blue, or, I haven't worked this many hours in so long. This is just one example, right? But that doesn't matter because she knows when you do work more hours, it's you working. It's not you living your life. Who knows what you're really doing? It's not you're at another job. We know you stay at that job, and anytime now, or maybe in 2-3 weeks, you'll have more hours to work. So reality is women don't care about your working hard lifestyle. They much rather know that, oh, he has money coming through. So how can you keep her interest in other areas when all you have to do is keep her satisfied by letting her know that you make money most times? So now it's down to when you have to work more, you do what you got to do. When you're MIA, you're busy, whether you're with your boys, right? When you do this, you now have to have her. What you have a lot of women now feel is that wow, he's not attached to me. Because what happens is that when you're at work and she knows, okay, you're busy during these hours, these times, you're only busy because, or I mean, you're texting her because, you're not texting her, sorry, because you are busy. So in other words, anytime a fella starts saying, well, I'm not clingy, Bossana, or I actually give her a lot of space, I give her a lot of distance, or, I'm at work a lot, how much more space does she need? She knows that all you do is care about work and her. That's the difference. You can make money important. You can be a go-getter. But women know how much you make them a huge priority. Didn't I just make a video saying make her last pick? AKA, or in other words, make her your last option. So what you do is tell a woman now by your actions, right? And not saying, oh, well, I do pick up hours, or I never chill with my boys, or my boys are with me all the time. So what you do instead now is the random days. The days where, oh man, you really got to pick up hours. Or the days where, oh, you're going to have to go see your boys. It's a Friday, it's the weekend, whatever the vibes is. You never told her before, and she has that mysteryness built in her now not knowing, oh, what's going on. So what I'm trying to say is that she doesn't have any answers. How would she know? She can't know. So basically, a lot of y'all, the reason why she's bored constantly, the reason why she's not interested, the reason why, well, I know this guy. Half of the time, I don't even know what he's doing, but I know he makes money, and I know he takes care of me, right? And look, here's the thing. Y'all know women are asking for financial stability with a lot of men, right? That financially just take care of them. A lot of women are asking for a lot of guys to give more emotion. Don't be so nonchalant. Guys don't show their emotions. So yeah, women are struggling with other guys, the alpha males, the big dogs, whatever you want to call it, the sigma males, the high value men out here. Women are struggling to just get that little bit, and due to not getting no answers, right? Didn't I say, don't say a word, or just explain a little bit, or just give a little bit, and give her just a little bit, as I've been saying lately, cookie crumbs, right? Or give her just the half-ass that she's been giving you too, right? So it's basically saying that 50-50 wasn't even going to work, yet you were getting like 10% at most. So now, how could you give her exactly what you were supposed to give her from the jump? You now reduce everything. Don't look at it as 50-50. Look at it as, baby girl, you gave me the 10%. I'm going to give you the 10% right back. Sometimes some fellas, these alpha guys that don't have time, that don't care, okay? Now move on from females to females, or got their options, whatever the case is. What they do now is, I don't got time, right? They have another option. If it's not her, it's going to be another girl. But what they do is give out as much as they wanted. They don't have to give a lot. And they know what keeps women attached, so they don't give a lot. So in other words, no answers. You're gone. She doesn't know what you're doing. You're with your boys way too long. She's thinking that, oh, maybe girls came through, or what? You're with your boys? You're not really with your boys. So how is mysteriousness building so easily with these alpha guys out here? How is a lot of alpha males out here able to make a woman want to know more, want to chase, want to be after him? They're not really doing much more aside from they master having money and status, or they got that going on, the basics in the modern day. And then the next steps of knowing how could you keep moving smart and know the game. So now all these things of the basics of keeping your mouth shut, or not saying as much as you should, right? And make her ask questions. What you do is what most alpha guys do out here, and say less and only speak when you got to. So now let me start explaining how y'all can now only give what you got to give. Don't get me wrong. It's not easy talking to females, because when you give a little bit, it becomes way too much. So now it's just like, where can you stop? And you can have her now come in, whether it's halfway, or let's just say want more answers. So what you'll do instead now is tell her something like, oh, well, I work here. Okay, leave it at that. Let her ask you how many years. Oh, how well is that job? Oh, how much do you work? So how do some of y'all never get those questions in your life? How do some of y'all approach a woman 3-4 times a week and not have one question reciprocated back, or have one girl give you some sort of communication, some sort of, let's say, conversation, whatever? It's due to the facts of you came straight to her. My resume is right here, but yet it's your mouth. Your mouth has become your resume. She does not need to know your whole entire life, what you've done, your experiences, what makes you valuable, what you have to bring to the table. When you know your money is there, your status, and then obviously having game and the other stuff that I do talk about, when you know you got that, how are you guys slipping up and messing up by saying too much? Y'all gotta ask yourself that. Now, we could discuss a little bit more of this about maybe you should stop talking about this every time. Maybe you notice women ask you more questions when you start talking about this. So we could talk more about this. Once again, if you want to book a consultation, make sure you do check out that link down below after this video though. So, we got to make sure everybody's watching through. No, real talk. So back to what I was saying, and that was a good point that I really made. So I'll finish that point and then I'll give you guys the accent that I told y'all. I'll give you another, or whatever, not accent, another example of how some of you fellas sound like this when a female hears you talking. So let me just wrap up with just saying this point that I just mentioned, which was a really great point. Maybe there is something that you say all the time that sparks a conversation. Maybe there is something, fellas, listen, there's something about you. Stop making yourself seem like the most boringest man to be known ever, and no woman will ever get one single excitement out of you. Like, stop doing that to yourself. So excuse me, I'm not gonna burp out loud. Okay, but back to what I was saying, every time maybe you start talking about something that's interesting, and maybe females don't hear guys talk about this so much, or when you talk about it, wow, the way you talk about it is just like, I want to know more. So when you do that, maybe what's happening is every single time you talk, let's say it like this, every single time you talk, you have a woman not want you more. So this is where, okay, you don't have to say too much, but this is where when you get the questions asked by that female, you can now elevate, elaborate, keep going. So it's just like, okay, now you guys are gradually getting somewhere because she's giving you something to work with. Now, it will be better if it's not just something to work with. She's completely interested and, oh, wow, you guys are having a genuine, real conversation. Now, I'm not talking about that too much because it doesn't happen often, you get me? But I want to say that that's how you can open the possibilities, right? Based on having your strength, having what women like about you, having what women notice about you the most. There's something about you, there's a quality, or there's just something else that every time when you do it, or most of the time, females do give you some credit for it. So if it's going to be looking at you, trying to get answers from you, or it's actually having an interesting conversation, or sometimes after what you just said, that one thing, and let me just give you an example. Some of y'all are still lost, but maybe that one thing could be, you have a history of having a nice hair, silky facial, healthy looking hair on your face, right? So I'm saying this to say, some guys don't take care of their skin. Some guys don't go to the gym, right? So if I talk about facial hair, and let's say you're just having a regular conversation with her, you don't have to tell her, well, I just started the skincare routine, and now it's been doing this, and now I've been using this and that, right? So now back to hair. If you have shampoo, conditioners, products that you use, right, on your face, or let's just say the way you use your razor, make sure you get the best razor out from Amazon. Y'all, it's great. It comes in quick, and the best part about it is that it's so easy to use and the battery lasts forever. And fellas, the blade on it, there's definitely different ranges. So go check it out. Click that link, black and silky, really easy to use and very much clutch. But I have to throw that in because y'all, this is stuff that you have to have as a man, right? So if you now have a great razor that gives you great results, amazing results, and then also you have the products that you got to use, which is oils, like I said, also conditioners, moisturizers, basically doing everything that you got to do to have your facial hair look nice, look smooth, look silky. So if you start talking to her, you don't have to start saying, well, you know what, I started using this and it was because of this, and then I really learned I needed to take care of, or ever since I was a child. Keep it simple and say, I like taking care of my face. I like taking care of my facial hair. Boom. She has to ask you, oh, a lot of guys don't really take care of their facial hair like that. Or, oh, you like to do that. What products do you use? Once again, and now I could use that accent. I gave you guys kind of a weak one in the beginning, I think, whatever. But I'll just give you a really random one. So now, to use this accent, if you're speaking to her and you're talking too much, giving her way too much, when you could be the low key, the mysterious, the what's the word? Chilled, laid back. That's the word. I was gonna say held back, but laid back guy, right? So when you're like that, but now we're talking about the opposite, and you say too much, you're gonna be like, well, yeah, the products that I use, well, I had to try a few different ones, right? And when I tried a few different ones, this is getting really bad. Don't let me embarrass myself a little bit. But when I try different ones, you know, sometimes some of them irritate my skin, right? And then also sometimes they'll be like, well, I tried this one and I like it a lot, and I also have another favorite. She doesn't care. Then another one will be like, well, I really use this 3 times a week, and I just care so much about it. You know, it just means so much. So now, oh, she's feeling like, well, that's kind of giving me like feminine vibes, right? Or, oh, you care about it that much? Okay. Well, what do you also care about that's more masculine? It could be like that, but you see where you messed up is going on and on, or explaining yourself, or adding on. She doesn't care. You know what? She was impressed, or she liked the facts of, wow, look at your hair on your face. But she just wanted it to be, okay, I'm proud of you. You do that for yourself. I don't need the breakdown. She is not. And if she is actually your girlfriend, she still doesn't need to hear it all the time. She'll find out later on, whether it's you guys living together or you guys are actually sitting down, getting to know each other. And that's actually how we'll wrap up this video, is really getting to know each other. What y'all got to do is that y'all got to know there's a time and a place. What y'all got to do is pay attention to when you should talk more. In the beginning stages, take that out of the picture most times, right? That's what I was trying to say with this. It's the approaching. It's the first time you meet a woman. It's the online dating. It's the messaging her, DMing her, where it's just like, y'all, don't ruin it for yourself. Give less, say less. So next, how could you now, and like, this is how I said we'll wrap up. How could you now, let's say that, say like this. I'm trying to give it to you in a way where it makes the most sense. How could you now approach women, talk to females, and give them just enough for them to want to know more? You basically make sure that you're not giving dryness, but you're giving your personality and bringing charisma. So, you know, I'll just tell you guys this. When you speak to her, right, and you have to give a little bit, make sure she throws more. That's kind of your safe net. If she gives you a question, that's more because you just made a comment or you just mentioned something. If she's giving you back to back, then keep going. But overall, having her ask you questions, the whole idea is bringing you to be the guy that needs to be important in her life. So important will be, well, I care to know. Important will be, oh, well, this is about you. This is true about you. Well, it affects me. So realistically, you can never get a woman to this point of seeing that you're important, respecting you, loving you, and all these different types of things. Overall, y'all can never get to that point with a lot of females, because this first barrier of saying less like you were supposed to, doing the least, and then hoping that she could get more. You're expecting she should get more. If it's not the case, then there's never going to be, oh, you should expect respect, or she's going to look at you as a masculine man that I have to, make sure that I actually like respect once again. So overall, fellas, just make sure you give less until it makes sense. And I just explained to you guys how it would make sense. But make sure that these questions that they're asking you is going to give you like something you guys can continue on from. Don't let her feel like, or don't let it be like, okay, well, you're forced to ask these questions. Make sure this woman's giving you genuine effort, and make sure when she is asking you these questions, you're still making sure you finish these questions different day. So different days, let's say, I'm sorry, but it's saying really there will be once again a time and a place where it makes sense for you to now know that you should add more. So maybe tell her later on, this is really my skincare routine. When it's been 3 months or something, or let's say 2 weeks or whatever, everybody has their own pace, whatever. But when it's been that time where it makes sense, this topic came back up, you can now tell her, this is my lifestyle. I really like to do this. This is what I use every day. I wake up early, Add all those things. Now you could be the guy that is relevant in her life, and it's because she has grown interest towards you. She is not bored, because you are the guy that knows how much to say, how much not to say. It's working out in your favor, because now later on, which is the time, She wants to know more. She has to ask to know more. She knows that, oh, you won't tell her all this. She knows you're doing something, but at some certain times, or, you know, sometimes it could be iffy, or sometimes I don't really know and I want to know. And the only way I'll know is if I ask you. All right. So I really wanted to add more on everything, fellas. Like, there's always just, you know, I say it so much, but there is always so much to say. And this is why this video is almost 20 minutes. So I really got to go, y'all. Maybe we got to start doing 30-minute videos, because these videos are not long enough for your girl. But I'll make sure to elaborate in other videos, because there's still so much more, like I said. And thank y'all. Make sure to give this video a big thumbs up. Bye, y'all.